Hey everyone on Facebook, everyone on Insta. It's good to see you. Fridays are my favorite. This is our live Q&A. You get to ask me anything that you want on money, sex, and God, or anything in between. You can also ask me about me. I noticed that answering questions is easier for me than just talking at you, because then my body can respond naturally and I can kind of just be in my flow. It's way more fun. So, if you're watching and you have a question, please ask it. If you want to jump on live with me, that would be amazing. You can just click the request to join video and we can play together a little bit or a lot of it. I would love to play with you. Love to play with your energy and your body. So if you want to jump on live, you can click that request to join the video and we can play. And I'm seeing some people come on. So if you have anything coming up in your life, any questions, please join. And I'm going to start by answering an anonymous question. I know this was actually a question from last week by Kevin Kavanaugh. Kevin, I'll tag you so that you can listen to the answer. But he was really brave in talking about his own sexuality. And he said, in pursuit of my spirituality, I leave my sexuality behind. Obviously, that doesn't work. And then I'll pendulum into the other direction, still not finding my way. Yeah, Kevin, it's not really a question. So what I will do in reading that is just say, yes, yep, that makes sense. And if you were looking for advice, which I'm not sure if you were, so if you weren't, Kevin, you can stop listening now. If you were looking for advice, I'd love to give you some on this. So in pursuit of his spirituality, he's finding himself lose his sexuality, and then he moves into his sexuality and he loses his spirituality, right? And he's like kind of ping-ponging back and forth between the two realms, the two worlds of like raw primal desire and collective conscious surrender. So I feel you, Kevin. The advice that I would give you, Kevin, is to go back into your body and slow down. What I'm assuming, and I'd love to kind of play with you if you jump on, we can get on live together. What I'm assuming is that there's a bit of a running out of the body when you move into your spiritual expansion. And then when you're in your sexual expansion, you're going so deep into the body that you're losing that, like, the length of the energy upwards and outwards. And so to slow it down will allow more of an integration. And then also, Kevin, to learn your blueprint and start to feed and heal your blueprint. So I've spoken about this before. I'll go through it really quickly. The blueprints are the keys to unlocking your nervous system. And the reason that we need to know them and how we honor and feed our body is that they allow us to deregulate and decondition our nervous system so that we can ground more into our body and bring the divine inside of us, right? Now, everyone's nervous system is wired differently based on childhood, based on just having different bodies, based on what's happened in your experiences that you've happened now and where your intention is and where your attention is. And so we want to really learn what ours is. There's 5 of them. And as I go through them, if you think you're one of them, let me know. I always like to see who's on the feed. I usually get a lot of energetics. So that's the first one I'll talk about. Freya, I think that's how you say your name. Thank you. She said I have lovely energy. I bet you do too. Mirror. Energetic. So the energetic blueprinting, your nervous system is amazing because it's hypersensitive to the energy that's inside of you and around you, right? So the energetics that are of us, right? We get overwhelmed really quickly, and we often will pop out of our body. Now, Kevin, that might be what's happening to you. I'm not quite sure. That you might be popping out of your body and your spirituality and forgetting about the sexual primal piece inside of you, your like base chakras, right? Energetics like to live up here and can be a little floaty and flighty. My primary blueprint is energetic. So I'm curious who else has that one. And it's important to feed it. So now that I know that I'm an energetic, I give myself the feeding and the care that I need so that my energy can be rooted and my nervous system can expand and grow and open. Then there's sensuals. Sensuals, you guys are amazing at the 5 senses, right? Of really the deliciousness of tapping into taste, touch, feel, the senses, right? You can be super embodied and aware of all the things around you. And you may also find yourself getting stuck in your head. Yes, Shelly on Facebook or on Insta says she's an energetic. Awesome. I see you. So you may get stuck in your head, like have the mind chatter. Sensual, very common sensual is to like be almost at the orgasm and then to like lose it. It just disappears because you get a thought and then it's gone. So sensuals, same thing, feeding, knowing that you're a sensual will allow you to start to feed your sensual. And that's really important. And I'm not going to tell you how because then I'd be giving away too much. But there are simple tools to feed the conditioning, the nervous system of a sensual. And then there's kinky. You guys are turned on by the taboo. This is a strong one in me as well. And kinkies are amazing because they can play in their mind so much that they don't even need to be in their body to play there. And they can also move to like extreme polarities of pain, pleasure if they're the tactile kinkies, right? Kinkies often get overridden with shame. Is this okay? Is it okay to have this desire? And their nervous system gets tense and constricted because of this. Same thing, feeding the kinky is a lot about allowing and accepting and giving it the space to be there and that everything's okay and there's nothing wrong, right? And then the shapeshifter likes all of them often all at once. And if you are a shapeshifter, you may often feel that you're too much, right? That you just want. And like, who's gonna be able to feed you, right? Because you often want like 15 hands at once and lots of things happening all at once. So Kevin, my guess is that whatever blueprint you are riding in right now may not be fully aligned, or you may not be fully aligning your sexual pleasure with your primary blueprint. And because of that, you may be popping out of your body sexually and doing things that may be not serving your nervous system in the way that your nervous system really wants to be served. So sometimes, guys, we run sexuality from a place of like the mind or what we should be doing or an egoic state instead of really tapping into, hey, nervous system, how are you feeling today, right? Hey, body, hey, skin, hey, energy. What do you need in order to be fed? Okay, so thank you, Kevin. I'll tag you so you can hear that one. Guys, if you have any other questions, please bring them. If you want to jump on live, I'd love to play with you, and I'm going to gift anyone who jumps on live on video with me. I think you just scroll up to like when you first came in and you press join on video, and then you can join. And I'll give you an hour-long session with me. It's $500 normally. For being brave and jumping on and letting me play with you. That's really what I desire, is to play with you so much. Okay, so I've got more questions. I've got some questions on Instagram. And okay, I've got also a question by Christina on Facebook. So let me do, the Instagram person left. So Shelly, but your question is really good, Shelly, so I'm gonna answer it after Christina, but because Christina's on right now on Facebook, I'm gonna answer you first. So Christina says, what do you mean about popping out of your body? Yeah, Okay, so this is a fun one to talk about. Thanks for feeding me by asking me this question. Okay, so when the nervous system, when we're first born into our bodies, we are physically in our bodies. Like our energy is encapsulated inside of our bodies. Our bodies are relaxed. Think about a baby, a newborn baby. They're not tense. They're not holding, their muscles aren't holding anything. They're just simply like a vessel for their own energy in their body. Over time, what starts to happen is external stimuli, fears, societal conditioning, toxicity, like drinking toxic things or eating toxic things. What that does is it starts to muddy the straight channel between the body and your energy flow. The body stops being a safe place to rest in, right? So the body starts to become this very constricted, tense space over time. Christine, if you're following me, let me know. So what happens is the divine self that's inside of you, right, can no longer rest inside the body because the body is no longer being nourished and fed. And no matter what kind of, how much sex you're having, right, if the sex that you're having is not structured, oh, you just gave me a thumbs up, awesome. If the sex that you're having is not keyed toward what your nervous system actually needs based on the conditioning that's happened in your life, in your history, based on certain traumas or fears, right? So say I just went through the blueprint, say you're an energetic and you're having sexual orgasms, right, of the sexual blueprint. You're not deconditioning your body in a way that your body can actually hold the fullness of you. Mm-hmm. See if there's anything else there. Yeah. So it's all about the energy pops out of the body when there isn't a safe space to hold it. And cultivating your sexual awakening is about descending down into the body to provide a safe container by deregulating your nervous system through pleasure or pain, if you're kinky, right? A deconditioning, so that then what happens is your life force and your life flow can flow and birth and experience and like just be in ecstatic bliss inside of your body. Now, a popping out of the body, you may experience this if you're, if you've had a certain amount of conditioning or trauma, which I mean is pretty much everyone on the planet nowadays, where your body just can't hold your life force, right? So your life force starts to get excited, the energy starts to boil, and then it's like, whoop, I don't have anywhere to go because the body is like, right? Like maybe it's from toxic stuff, like maybe you're drinking or you're doing something to the body to like meh, or maybe it's a conditioning in the nervous system that can't hold it, and your partner or yourself are not feeding your body in a way that it can relax and rest. So what happens is you pop out. Now the popping out, you can tell when it's happening when after, like when you come back into your body and you notice like, oh, I wasn't there at all. What the F just happened, right? Like, where did I go? So just things to be aware of. And if you notice this is happening, this is a direct ask from your body to start feeding it in the way that it wants to be fed, so that it can open, so that it can hold the divine power that you are inside of you. So step 1 is learning your blueprint. I'll post the link here at the end of this video. Step 2, if the blueprint, if you get that and you start to see it, is to start to feed your blueprint. That's what I really specialize in, is feeding and healing all the blocks to deconditioning your nervous system. How can we get you to a place where you're like, okay, here I am. There's nothing in the way. There's no mud, right? So that's where we're going. Okay. I think that answers your question, Christina. Let me check. She said, good Lord, yes, this makes sense. And then she wrote, I think, bleh. Meaning that it was hitting something in you. Dana, good to see you. All right, I'm going to leave in 3 minutes if I don't get another question. And I'll wait. Thank you, Christina. Remember, you can totally jump on video with me too. I'd love to play with you. I'm watching the clock. I've got 3 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm just going to move. Hey, Dana, give me hearts. Thank you. Oh, I did have another question on Instagram, and I think there's some popping up. Okay. Shelly asked a fucking awesome question. Shelly said, is sexuality part of the 5th dimension? I've never been asked this, and I'm really excited. I can feel myself getting excited. Shelly, thank you. Sexuality is a part of your body's natural process, just like eating, sleeping, burping, farting, right? Running, working out. The 5th dimension is reality, and it's always there. Sexuality is a human experiencing technique so that we can experience ourselves as 5th dimensional beings in the 3rd dimension. So it's a beautiful invitation to have a human experience that also connects you to truth. Right? Now we can get to truth a lot of different ways. We could get there meditating on a mountaintop, right? But without sexuality, we're not allowing our bodies to experience truth. We're not allowing our bodies to experience life. And I mentioned before, I was talking about you guys, I was talking about the blueprints. I mentioned before that our bodies can't experience this unless we're feeding it exactly what the nervous system needs in order to let go. So if the nervous system needs to be tied up and kneeling and spanked, right? Totally great. If the nervous system needs to be having tantric yoga practices in a meadow, great. If the nervous system needs candles and a bath and a massage, great. If the nervous system needs deep, fast, hard penetration, great, right? If it needs all of it at once, great. There's no hierarchy. All of these become portals into experiencing truth, because what we're doing is I said it so many times on this Q&A already, but I'll say it one more time. We're deregulating, we're deconditioning so that truth can flow through us, right? And it's important to know the blueprints, because what your nervous system needs in order to decondition will change over time. As new experiences happen to you, your nervous system picks up new things. It's going to be holding on to different stuff. And so we need to be able to constantly become aware of, wow, I'm feeling like I need some kinky action today, or I'm feeling like I need some sensual action today. And feeding your body constantly with what it needs so that the mind doesn't get in the way and the flow of truth can actually land and really land and ground in the body, right? Okay, let me see if there's any other questions, and then if not, I'm going to disappear, but you can ask. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. I don't have anywhere to go, which is great. I have until 4 technically, till my client. Ryan, hey Ryan. Ryan said, what's the 5th dimension? Oh, Ryan. Okay. What is the 5th dimension? I don't even want to answer that with my mind. I really don't. I want to answer that with my body, because that's where I feel the 5th dimension. That's how I know I'm in it. It's a mindlessness. it's a layer of life and existence and resonance that we don't experience with any sort of thought. We can't get there. And so for me, the reason that this work becomes so important is that when we are living, I'm getting chills, when we're living in the freedom of the fifth dimension, right, which is an experience of liberation, an experience of trust, deep trust, love, connection, an experience where any hurt, any pain, any trauma, any resentment falls away. Right? When we live in that space, we no longer need to fight. We no longer need to think. There becomes a flow and a gratitude and a knowingness inside the body. I don't think I answered your question, but I don't really care because that felt like it needed to come through. Okay, let me see if there's more questions. Just reading. Dana says, thank you. Yeah, you're feeling the truth in your bones, girl. Yeah, thank you for resonating with me here. Christina, I can't figure out how to jump on with you. I think if you scroll all the way up, guys, if you could help her out, that'd be amazing. I think if you scroll all the way up, there's a button that says like get on live. And it may only work on Insta. It's possible. I'm not totally sure. Okay, so Christina had another question. I love all these fifth dimension questions. This is really cool. Thanks for showing me where I need to go. Okay, she said, how's the best way that you've reached the fifth dimension? Through my vagina. Through my body, right? So specifically understanding, so for me, my own journey with this is that I have been seeking this level of peace and joy my entire life, to the point that I've been through every spiritual whatever. I've been experiencing every technique. I did intense yoga stuff, and my God, literally you name it, and I've tried to find it. Now, what I didn't realize was that because my nervous system was so constricted and conditioned to a fear response, and I didn't feel safe in my body, my life force couldn't flow through me, and I couldn't experience God, which to me, fifth dimension, God, universe, same thing, love, truth, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't embody it. It couldn't be in me. And so even though I knew on a deep level in my heart that I was taken care of, and there was this dimension of experience that I was not, right? That I was everything and I was nothing all at once. And like, I understood that in my mind, and I could theologically think about it. My body didn't get it. And so I was still running around afraid. I was running around trying to fix things, change things, trying to make things right or wrong, trying to, just like fix all the things. And I didn't trust, and I couldn't let go in my body. I did it in my head, but I couldn't do it in my body. And so my body was doing all this stuff. I had a chronic virus forever, like crazy pain that I was holding on to in my body. I was having sex, but I kept dissociating. Right, Christina, we were talking about that earlier. I was popping out of my body because it was so conditioned that it couldn't hold my life energy. And it wasn't until I started to feed my body which to me looked like learning how to tap into my blueprint, how to feed it, which for me as an energetic was doing a lot of work with my own energy. And then my sensual, doing a lot of sensual touch on my body. And then also really, really understanding the portals and the brilliance that is inside of my own yoni, outside, inside, all around, right? And perineum and anus. And we're just going to talk about it, guys, because holy wow, it's available there. If you're struggling with money, right, go to the root chakra. I mean, they talk about it, and I needed to get to a place of really trusting that my body could do this for me, right? That I had enough of this power within me, and there's nothing I had to seek outside of me. And that has been my experience every single day. It's why I spend 3 hours a day literally just touching my body and being with her and loving her. And when I do that, I'm communing with God, right? I'm right there. I'm letting life in and through me and letting my humanity feel free to rest and relax onto something greater than itself, finally. So I don't have to hold it anymore. I can be messy, I can cry, I can scream, I can feel, and it's all okay, because now I have this inner knowingness and this inner experience that, like, holy wow, I can hold all of this, right? And because it's not the I self. It's this bigger, greater dimension that makes up all of us all at once. We're all part of it. And what I want for all of you is for your body to experience that, to experience the godliness inside of you. And we get it through deconditioning, through our blueprints, right? So I don't remember who asked that question. I'm floating a little bit because I'm talking about self-pleasure. Let me check. Oh, that was Christina. Christina, did I answer your question? She said amen. Okay. I think I answered your question. And I'm sorry you couldn't get on live. I'll figure that out for next week. I'd like to do that. That would be really fun. Okay, I'm going to stay on for another minute. And if I don't get any more questions, I'm going to pop off. And I'm just going to look at you in the meantime. I think we're good. Yeah, Jennifer said integration is huge too. Yeah, and integration comes through deregulation of the nervous system. It happens faster. So those of us that like go away to, I have friends that like go away to Puerto Rico and do ayahuasca for a week and then need to go and like hide in a cage for the next 2 weeks while they integrate. I'm not saying that that's your experience, Jennifer, just giving an example. What's missing here is the hands-on body, the self-touch, the healing work, not even healing because there's not really anything to be healed, but the unraveling that can happen when you really know the blueprinting of your system and what it needs in order to open and receive. So in that, integration becomes less of a roller coaster. It still happens, right? There's always going to be a little bit of an expansion and a contraction, but it becomes less of that when we really feed our bodies. And our bodies are starving for that. They've wanted it probably your whole life. And now's the time to really step in and start doing it. Okay, this feels good. This feels complete. I feel full. Thank you for playing with me, ladies, men. It's an honor, and I am so excited for next week. Lots of hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Receiving, receiving. If you are around New York City next Friday, I would love for you to celebrate my birthday with me. This is an invitation to all of you in the tri-state area around the East Coast, or come and visit for a weekend. It's March 1st, 7 o'clock, Midtown. We are going to be doing this, but through movement and dance and just like sexy, naughty, dirty, raw, primal embodiment of these 5 blueprints. So I'm going to be very lightly guiding you through them. It's a place where you can be really free to experiment with your body and see, what does my body desire? Like, what has it been starving for? What does it really want? What does it really want? How does it feel in this room with these people that are also starving for their stuff, right? And how can we kind of feed each other, and how can we help each other to become more in our truth and to accept and love all of the different systems inside of the room that make up one big system, right? So we are going to be doing that next Friday, and it's going to be a huge love fest. There will be cake. I was just notified we're getting a chocolate brownie cake. It's vegan and gluten-free because that's what I do, and I really hope I get to eat it off of someone. My kinky wants that. So show up. I will post the link for both the Erotic Blueprint quiz if you want to know what your blueprint is, as well as the ticket for the event on Friday. If I haven't met you in person, like Dana, I'd love to meet you in person. I don't know where you live. Who else always talks to me? Christina, I would love to meet you. Jennifer, please come so that we can hug. There'll be time at the end of it to mingle and mix and come and ask me questions. I get really fed by looking into people's eyes, so I would love that. All right, this feels good. I'll speak to all of you next week, 3 o'clock, right before the event, which I'm really excited about. I'm just checking comments before I run. Everyone's saying yes. Amazing. So I'll post all the links right after this. Love you guys. Thank you for being here and playing and diving in and asking these crazy fifth dimensional questions. Oh, Dana's in New York. Great. I'll see you next Friday. Can't wait to hug you. All right, everyone. Ciao. Let me leave Insta first and Facebook. Mwah.